CIPC is of critical importance to the GB potato industry. For processing especially, there are currently no alternative sprout suppressants available for long-term storage. We therefore need to take particular care to ensure that it's used carefully. Recent changes in legislation have reduced the amount of CIPC that can be used each season. For pre-packed crops, no more than 36 grams, and in processing crops, no more than 63.75 grams may be applied per tonne of potatoes. In addition, no matter how much CIPC is applied, only crops with a residue value within the 10 parts per million maximum residue level, or MRL, may be marketed. These are the crop owner's legal responsibilities. Store managers need to firstly ensure that crops can be stored safely within the new usage rates, and secondly, minimise the risk of localised high CIPC deposition rates. The use of CIPC in bulk stores can be dramatically reduced by incorporating some changes to the application system. These changes reduce the amount of CIPC required by distributing the chemical more effectively. But first, let's look at the components of a typical bulk store. At the heart of the bulk store are the fans. These are used to maintain the crop in a suitable condition by supplying it with air of an appropriate quality. The fans draw ambient or headspace air and push this into the main duct. From the main duct, air passes into a series of lateral ducts which pass out under the bulk pile of potatoes. Openings in the lateral ducts disperse air directly under the bulk pile. The air handling components in a bulk store are all designed around each other. The fan is specified to supply a critical volume of air, and this determines the dimensions and openings from the main duct and lateral ducts. The whole system is designed to be restrictive, so that there is a build-up of pressure. This pressure build-up is important for reducing the velocity of air and evens out the airflow rate into the laterals along the main duct. CIPC is the main sprout suppressant used in Great Britain and is used on many processing crops. The traditional approach to applying CIPC in bulk stores is simply to switch the store off, close it up, and introduce fog directly into the main duct without the fans running. Because the volume of fog is much smaller than the volume of air displaced by the fans, pressure does not build up in the main duct and fog distributes in an uneven way. Fog tends to be thrown to the furthest end of the main duct and goes through the crop, passing along the lateral ducts furthest away from the point of fog entry. The crop above the laterals near the point of fog introduction is unlikely to receive much CIPC because the velocity of the fog here is so high. So sprout growth here is not well controlled, and often new sprout growth in this area means that the whole store has to be retreated. Using the traditional approach, CIPC is applied unevenly. Some potatoes receive little or no dose of the chemical, and others get a higher dose than they need. With limits on how much CIPC can be used, and the MRL, it is clear that we need to improve the use of this compound. To ensure that we retain CIPC, it is important that we use it as efficiently as possible. By ensuring the treatment is spread evenly throughout a store, CIPC inputs can be reduced. This works by eliminating reapplications which are made to control sprouting in areas of the store that receive little chemical. This reduces overall use of the chemical and limits the risk of exceeding the maximum residue level. To apply CIPC more evenly, a simple system has been developed. In this system, fans are used to recirculate the fog continuously through the bulk pile until all the chemical has been deposited. Recirculation, however, should not be carried out with the fans operating at full speed. At high speed, fans are too vigorous and may cause CIPC to attach to the fan guards and blades. This can cause complete blockage of the fan unit. In order for fans to safely transport fog, a more gentle action is needed. This is accomplished by installation of a variable frequency drive, which allows the fan speed to be adjusted. With the fan running at low speed, it is safe to use to deliver fog directly to the crop and manage its distribution around the store. Because the fan is operating at low speed, however, it delivers a smaller volume of air and so doesn't build up as much pressure. As we saw earlier, this pressure build-up is important for even distribution of air into the lateral ducts. Without adjustment of the lateral ducts, most air or fog will enter the ducts where pressure is greatest. Usually, this is adjacent to the fan. Uneven distribution is overcome by adjusting the shutter openings from the main duct into the lateral ducts. An anemometer is used to determine where airflow or pressure is highest and where it is lowest. Laterals nearest the fan will usually be in an area of high pressure and have the highest airflow rate into them. These laterals need partially closing, otherwise crop here would receive more CIPC than required. Airflow into laterals at the end of the main duct, furthest away from the fan, is usually relatively slow. Here the danger is that crop associated with these laterals will be underdosed. In many stores, it may be necessary to adjust all laterals to about 50% of their normal opening to build up sufficient pressure. Once the lateral openings have been adjusted, the procedure to apply CIPC is as follows. Ensure the ambient louver is closed, the recirculation louver is open and the fan is on. Now air is delivered under the crop and at the same time is gently extracted from the store headspace and recirculated again and again through the crop. The fogger outlet duct is placed in the fan house and the fogging process begins. Because the ducts have been balanced with fans at low speed, on the basis of airspeed measurement, approximately equivalent doses of CIPC fog are delivered to the crop above each lateral. Recirculation in this way should be carried out continuously until the fog has cleared, and usually takes about 4 hours. Once the headspace has cleared, the store can be purged with fresh air to control the impact of fogging on processing quality. Applied this way, CIPC usage can be reduced by up to 50%. In addition, because the distribution is managed with equivalent volumes of fog delivered into each lateral, the risk of exceeding the MRL is much reduced. In summary, the 3 key steps in setting up a store for modified applications are: Number 1, to reduce the fan speed using the VFD. Number 2, measure the airspeed in the lateral ducts. And number 3, balance the system. CIPC is critical to the British potato industry, but its use is under threat. If it is your crop, it is your responsibility. So ensure the rates and MRL are not exceeded. Using this modified procedure can halve CIPC inputs and reduces the risk of high residue values. For more information on this or other storage and potato quality issues, contact Sutton Bridge.